So yesterday, on Thursday, December 16th, I had to pick up this letter. Certified mail, return receipt requested, and all that good stuff. December 17th of 2020 at the Destin post office in Florida. And I had my ID on me. I didn't bring my pocketbook in, and you have to wait in line for like 25 minutes due to the corona, because they are really strict there about the 6-foot rule, and you must wear a mask or they're not waiting on you. And they yell. They have a tendency to yell at people. If they won't keep 6 foot away, they'll yell at them and tell them to get out of their post office. And they just don't play. So you stand there like a soldier, waiting to get into that one main room. And once you get in that one main room, you really watch your P's and Q's, because they're really strict. Now, oddly enough, even though there's a 6-foot rule, which makes it look like a really long line, usually they only have one person on that front end over there. And now, the couple times I've gone in there, they have someone at every spot, so they have 3 people waiting on customers, which is really neat. And it's pretty quiet and calm there, you know. Generally, you know, the people are just waiting to get through. And they don't take anybody in advance. There's no like hop, skip, and jumping, and I'm just here to pick up a letter. It's everybody waits in line, period. There's nobody special, nobody privileged, and there's no gold card privileges there. Everybody waits in line. So anyway, I get up there, and there's some girl leaning against the table right near where they called me to that window. And I was like, why is this person standing here? It's 6-foot rule. And there's the Oriental lady first, then there's the black guy. These are post people. And then there's a little white girl with glasses. So the little white girl with glasses on the end is the one that I ended up with. And there's this woman standing there right next to the window that I'm to go to. And so I get like way over to the left, because, you know, I want to respect the social distancing, and I don't want to be yelled at either. And the black postman yells out to a guy that was on the back table trying to fill something out. He said, "You can fill that out outside this room and then come back in line." And he said, "You're going to have to go with 6-foot spacing." The guy left, but he didn't say anything to this girl that was just standing there by where I was supposed to be at. And hell, every time I've ever gone to the post and had to go fill something out, I had to wait in line all over again. Don't think it's a privilege. I've always had to wait in line all over again, no matter how many people were there. And that's before Corona too. But anyway, so I'm at the window, and I hand her this pink slip, and she takes off, comes back, says, "Here, sign this." And they've got a big plexiglass there and stuff, you know. So you're like real far away from them, you know. So she pushes this green paper, little piece of paper, under the window there. And so I'm looking at it, trying to figure out where to sign, because it's so little and it's got all this other stuff on it. So there's a blank spot on the top, so I just signed there. And I hand it back to her. She says, "You need to put the date on there." I said, "Okay." So she throws it under the window. So I pick it up. I'm looking for where I need to put the date, so I put the date on there. hand it back to, her by putting it under the window. She yells at me and says, "You put it in the wrong place." And I says, "Sorry, I don't know. I mean, it's like my second or third registered certified letter I've ever had in my life. I mean, I'm no pro, But anyway, I said, sorry. And so she throws it back under the window. And she says, "You need to print your name on there." I said, okay. I'm looking at it, staring at this little tiny paper with all this stuff written on it and stamped on it. So I just find an empty spot and I print my name. "You put that in the wrong spot too." I said, "Sorry." I said, "Why do you keep yelling at me?" I said, "There's no reason to scream." And then I put it back under the thing, and she says, "You need to put your whole name on there. And the reason I'm screaming at you is because you don't know how to do it right." Whoa, like, I've never worked for the United States Post Office in my life, okay? I've shipped tons and tons of packages out. I've shipped certified, registered, signature required, and all that good stuff, but I've never been a postmaster. Sorry. I've had a couple friends that were, but I mean, I'm not a postmaster by infusion or anything like that, or osmosis. But I'm sitting there thinking, wow, but I mean, I was just like, I couldn't believe it. And I said, "You don't have to scream at people." And she gets ready to hand me a letter, and I said, "If you're so concerned about my name, then why didn't you ask for my ID?" Because the last time I did this, they asked for my ID. "Well, go ahead and let me see your ID then." I said, okay. I pull it out, lay it down on the counter. She picks it up, looks at it, and throws it under that window. Throws it at me under the window. Takes my letter that I'm there to pick up and throws it under the window. And I said, this is one reason why I really don't like this post office. I say this, one, I can never get my mail here. Never. And I'm not the only one. But I can get everybody else's mail at my mail. And two, the post people have to scream at you and throw your stuff at you. You threw my letter and my license. I couldn't believe it. I mean, if they're going to be this violent and aggressive because all they want is that raise that Trump wouldn't give them, because Corona was more important to handle than another raise to the United States Post Office when it's what, 55 cents to mail a letter? Really? And we can't get our mail anyway. I have packages that took 6 months. 6 months. For about 25 packages to come. 6 months. And some are still missing. Let's not mention about the post people that are parking on their brakes in the Georgia hills and throwing hefty bags of customers' trash in the woods. Or the guy that was busted with hefty bags of customers' mail in his house and a storage building behind his house that the feds just raided. Not to mention the post person that was caught on video camera at a local business at a mall that was throwing packages and envelopes in their trash bin, and they saw it, and they called the United States Postmaster and the police about it. Yeah, unopened packages of mail. Really? Not to mention the election being put through the United States Post Office. Really? We can't get our mail, why would you ever put the presidential election through the United States Post Office? Much less expect to get it on time. But if you have violent and severely aggressive people like this, now I went in the morning. So that's what's so sad. It wasn't like I rolled in there, 4:15 right before closing and they had a really bad day. I went in the morning and this woman was truly aggressive when I only spoke a few words. I mean, I was just trying to get my stuff and get out of there because there's other people waiting in a big long line behind me, and they were doing, it appeared to be their best because they had all 3 teller things open, which you rarely see at that particular post office. And normally they yip yap all the time, but they're real quiet now. They're not yip yapping too much. And it takes so much longer. Now the Mary Esther post office is really neat, but there's a ton of people do business there. But it's a really neat post office. They're very organized there and very friendly, very helpful, and it kind of moves pretty smoothly there. They don't yip yap a lot, but the line is long. But I will tell you, I was very offended. Here's people that the United States government pays, we pay, and they want to be violent and aggressive like this. There's something wrong with the picture. Either these people need to be assessed every, say, 6 months or whatever, because they shouldn't be behind that counter and act like that. Now, if you did that in Texas, let me tell you what. Those Texas boys don't play well with others. It could be a very dangerous, horrible thing, okay, if someone got sideways with a customer in some of these rural areas. Other than the fact that people are maxed out, have you noticed when you go out in public, no matter what you do, where you go, it's either a customer or an employee that's going wacko, but generally a customer, and they're making a big scene in public when they don't need to be. And if they're not doing that, they're out in the parking lot screaming at somebody, full blast, and you're already on edge anyway because you have to come out of your house because of Corona, So you're just trying, it's like going into war, into battle. You're just trying to get it from point A to point B, take care of whatever business you've got to do, and get away from people. You know what I mean? Isn't that sad we've come to this? Now, when I left California and moved to the South is a particularly friendly, overly friendly place where people love to hug and everybody loves you and you're instant family, and it's just a way of life. You hug the postman, you hug, the guy that fixed your air conditioner, you hug your mechanic. You hug a stranger when they're having a rough day. I mean, it's very friendly. It's just the way. A hug and a prayer. And now we can't do that. It's really heartbreaking. So I make jokes when I go into stores, like, these older guys get all confused when they don't know which way to go and all that kind of stuff. And I'll say out loud, I'll say, it's a shame. And they'll look at me during that confusion. And I'll say, it's a shame that we have Corona, because it used to be great when you could just go through the store and hug all the good-looking guys. And they just laugh. And so, it's just a shame that the economy has come to this. But I don't know if that worker is just stressed from Corona, or her job or what it is, but she's waited on me. That'll be the second time she's ever waited on me. And she's just not very nice, you know. And I'm overly nice to anybody, whether I know them or not, because I like to make a new friend. I collect friends like little diamonds, and the more friends I can collect in my lifetime, it's like a game for me. I love people. I really do. I can take somebody that hates me and make them be my best friend. That's right. I don't like the drama. I don't like negativity in my life. I like to try to turn things around into a more positive aspect if I possibly can. Sometimes you can't. And you just have to kind of, stay strong and keep on smiling and move on. That's kind of all you can do. It's not worth fighting over. It's not worth sweating over the small stuff. I'm not saying be totally lax, but some things you just can't fix. Not even with duct tape. That's what they say in the South. But duct tape on a man. But anyway, and duct tape doesn't always work, okay? It's like I fixed plumbing in icy weather in Alabama one time with duct tape. I know, I'll fix it with duct tape. It's like, yeah, this ought to be good. But duct tape and a hairdryer. But yeah, so it's just a sad situation, and I hate it. I just paid my P.O. box over there, and it seemed like they raised the price. It was like $55 or something. But a postman told me the other day they got different prices all over now. I thought it was a, standard fee around the United States, but apparently it's different prices at different places. But when I went to the Mary Esther post office the other day, which they were just charming, the man that was there said he used to be at the Destin post office, and he said, if I could tell you, he said, but I'm just going to tell you this. He said, I was so glad to get the option to come over here. I was running like yesterday express. And I am so glad I'm here at the Mary Esther post office now. So that told me a lot before I went to the post office yesterday in Destin. But I was just blown away. Never, ever in my life have I had somebody wait on me. I can't think of any place that's waited on me, much less a post office, that threw my mail at me, threw my ID at me, screamed at me out loud with the people there waiting for service and the other people that work there. I don't know why somebody didn't come over and grab her by the arm and say, you know what, you need to take a break. And then take her in the back and have a little chat with her, because that is not necessary, especially in this day and time with Corona and all the stress and all that kind of stuff. Let's try to keep the negativity out. All I'm there is to pick up an envelope. How hard is that? And first of all, it's her job to point out where you should sign. Normally, like I've shipped hundreds and hundreds of packages, and if I haven't filled something out right, the post person will usually point out, put their finger and say, okay, can you put this right here? And they're real nice about it. But this woman was goofball. She was very violent, aggressive. All I wanted to do was just pick up that one letter. How hard is that? I didn't have to pay anything. There was nothing but, fill out a form and give me a letter. Okay? I don't know. But if the U.S. Postmaster is listening to this, please rectify the situation in Destin, Florida, United States Post Office. Okay? There was 3 people working that morning. And let me see. It was 10:35 in the morning. Let's see. Yeah. 10:35 in the morning. No, wait. 12, 16, 12, 17. 10:35 in the morning on 12/17/20, Thursday. So, because I had this other letter I had to pick up. But anyway, today's Friday, but it really, truly bothered me that it could be such a bad experience to go to the United States Post Office, which, you know, it's one of the neatest places to go generally. Since I was a little kid, that's a really exciting place to go. I've been a stamp collector for a great many years, and that's the neatest place to go, honest to God. And you don't, it's not a usual thing to see somebody with the post that's just a jerk like that for no reason. I'm picking up a letter. It's not like I brought 25 packages in and you're mad. I'm just picking up a letter. That's all. So, I'm wondering where Service with a Smile went. Anyway, I hope you guys don't go through that, but I'm not the only one complaining about Destin Post Office. It's just really, really bad. And I hope they fix it. And it's not the only post office that has problems in the world, but this one tends to have a lot. And I understand they've replaced the postmaster for that office, I think, twice in just a few years. But, yeah. So, anyway, that kind of put a damper on my day. Not to mention what was in that envelope was pretty wild. But anyway, it's okay. Everything will work out in the end, and it just takes time. So, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope your post office treats you good. Good luck if you go to Destin Post Office. I hope they don't yell at you, throw your ID, and throw your mail at you for no reason. Gosh almighty. Alright, you have a great one, and we'll talk to you later. And as always, make it a friend every day. Do something kind for a stranger. Love everybody. Wear a face mask and keep social distancing, because the life you save just might be your own. And too much of a good thing is wonderful, and we'll take a lot of that. Talk to you guys later. I love you.